Pete, we've talked about the different types of RAID protection levels and stretched cluster settings within the policy management and setting up for my virtual machines. What is the Stripe setting? What does that do? How do I use that?
Yeah. So the Stripe setting storage policy rule just sits within along the long list of storage policy rules that we have. And its goal is to improve the performance of the interaction of that VMDK with the VM if the single object component is the point of contention. Now that's kind of a long-winded explanation, but what it's really striving to do is to place or sprinkle this data across more storage devices. And those more storage devices can be on another disk in the same disk group, but in more recent editions, it's more likely on another disk in another disk group, and even on another host. So when it's since this is a performance-focused storage policy rule, some people want to say, oh, well, I want the best performance, so I'm going to turn the dial up to as high as we can get it. The fact of the matter
11.
is,
Let's go to 12.
Exactly. The Spinal Tap 11. So the reality is, though, it's only going to help performance in the cases that I mentioned where that can be the primary point of contention, and that's really dependent on the hardware being used and on the workload, on just other aspects of the environment. So my recommended approach is we always want to start with the default setting of 1, which there's no striping at that point. And then you would just, on an experimentation basis, move it up to, let's say, a stripe width of 2, and then observe the performance results from there.
No, that makes sense. It's an option, but it's not necessarily something we need to default to just go set high.
For sure. And you know what the other interesting thing is too, is that it can be a case of unintended consequences, in that you may have a small to medium-sized cluster where you decide to say, hey, I'm going to turn the stripe width policy up to a really high value on all of your VMs. Well, then it makes it a little bit more difficult for vSAN to adhere to the prescribed storage policies as far as the placement decisions goes, because in order to stripe an object, it has to live on another device. Well, you may run out of actual devices if it's on a smaller cluster. So that's why our general recommendation is to start out simple, just keep it simple, and if there is a performance issue, then you can use it incrementally.